the dribble. Deep two. Yes. Drains it for the corner.
Up three. Good.
Step back three. That's a good shot for three.
Stepping through off the window. Good. Stepping through the raindrops and the finish on the right hand.
And then it's going to Boomers' way with back-to-back threes. The Boomers, a WNBL chance.
So will be no easy task with Perth entering the game off the back of 4 straight wins as they gather some serious mid-season momentum. Hello and welcome to the Quaycentre in Sydney. It's the Flames hosting the Lynx. Ben Waterworth with you alongside CG12. That is 12-time WNBL champ Carrie Graff, the legendary Opals coach as well. Carrie, there's so much to play for both sides, particularly the Sydney Flames, as we saw on a couple of nights ago. You were calling the game. Tiana Manakar here produced a sensational game and she'll be key for them tonight as well. Hello to you.
Yeah, absolutely, Ben. Look, she was on fire, but I've got to say the Sydney Flames team, they, the crowd jumped on their back. It was a tussle all the way. The GOAT LJ was in fine form that they had to compete against, but they played like a team. They moved the ball. They played with passion, with intensity, and they'll need to do more of the same tonight. Still without their head coach, still without their star player, star point guard, Shyla Heal, but at least they've had some experience doing that together. As you say, Perth, on the other hand, they're coming off 4 wins. They're on the cusp of the top 4. This is going to be a big one.
Yeah, she had the 26 points and 8 assists, Tiana Manakar here on Wednesday night, and will have to step up again in the absence of Shyla Heal. She was shooting beautifully from beyond the perimeter as well. So we're looking forward to seeing how she plays today for the Sydney Flames as we have a look at the ladder. And as I mentioned off the top there's still a chance for particularly the Perth Lynx as well. They've won 4 in a row now. They've gone from 2 and 5 to 6 and 5 now. The Fire won last night, but the Perth Lynx are right there for a top 4 berth.
Yeah, they are. Look, I mean, the challenge for them is they've only won 1 game against that top 5 teams. They got a huge win against Southside Flyers last week at home. That'll give them some confidence coming into this one. All their wins, so other than that Southside win, have been against those bottom 4 teams. So they've got splits alive still with that top 4 team, but they're right on the cusp, and it's a must win for them tonight to keep those top 4 hopes alive.
The Perth Lynx already do have the split over the Sydney Flames, but they've only played the 11 games so far, so they've still got plenty of basketball left to play in this season. As we have a look at the Sydney Flames, as I mentioned off the top, like Wednesday night, Shane Heal unavailable to coach, and his daughter Shyla Heal, their marquee player, out due to personal reasons. So that's the starting 5 as it looks. There's been a slight change to the starting 5 lineup, Carrie, compared to what we saw on Wednesday night.
Yeah, on Wednesday night they started Kira Rowe in the 3 spot, but interim coach Michelle Gorman's elected to go smaller to match up with the small ball style that the Perth Lynx like to play. So I'm sure we'll see Panusis match up on Robbie Ryan for Perth. There's some great matchups we're going to see. Munga Kahia versus Sammy Whitcomb. That'll be a huge one. The young Shervin had a great night out, even though LJ was in GOAT form. She did a great job, and she's going to have a hands full tonight with Lauren Scherf. Shervin
v Scherf will be a tongue twister, but it'll be fantastic to watch as well as we have a look at the Perth Lynx. So interesting to note as well, Chloe Bibby not getting the start with Alex Sharp in the starting 5 for Perth.
Yeah, look, I think Coach Ryan Petrick knows his team well, and to bring, Bibby's in unbelievable form, certainly of late, scoring, rebounding, but for him that's great punch off the bench. You don't have to always, starting someone because they're in great form mightn't be the best way for your team to win games, and certainly, she and Sammy Whitcomb have had huge numbers up on the board in the last few weeks, and when this team last met, it was all Lauren Scherf.
Yeah, it certainly was. She had 33 points the last time these two sides met as well. She's doing it at both ends of the floor, scoring prolifically as well. She's clearly the number 1 player in the competition for rejections, averaging 2 blocks per game. The second best is just over 1. That is Olivia Nelson-Adoda as well. She's in the form of her life, Lauren Scherf.
She's playing super well. I mean, and look, the beauty of her, she's legit 6'5". She can shoot the 3 like a guard. She's got great size. When she gets close to the rim, she's got beautiful finish. She uses her length and can move her feet as a shot blocker. She's something unique for this Perth Lynx team, and she's certainly grown in confidence and the basketball she's producing over the last couple of seasons.
Also had the 14 rebounds as well last time, including 22 points in the second quarter alone. It'll be a fascinating matchup between Lauren Scherf and Hannah Shervin today. And it'll be a fascinating matchup between these two teams. Overall, it's the Lynx travelling to Sydney to take on the Flames. And your referees on screen for today's game. Must-win clash for both of these teams. Have a tip carry before the tip-off.
Look, you'd love to see a team like Sydney under the duress they're under to come up with one. You know, the crowd jumped on their back on Wednesday night, and we say it every week in the WNBL. Anything can happen, but I've got to say, I think the Perth Lynx might get this one.
You're hoping for their 5th win on the trot, the Perth Lynx. The Flames hoping to try and replicate that brave performance against the Flyers the other night, but hopefully go one better and claim the victories. We're underway from the Quaycentre. Great to have your company wherever you're watching on 9 now for some Cygnett WNBL action. Here's Robbie Ryan against Panousis, that matchup that Carrie flagged earlier on. And Robbie Ryan makes a really tough basket to start.
Yeah, good finish there for Ryan. She liked her chances to put the ball on the deck and go straight at Panousis.
So these two teams have already met twice this season. The Lynx already have the split 2-zip. They won 80-72 in November. And a couple of weeks ago, they won 75-64. Both of those games at Bendat. As Mangakar here has the first triple attempt of the night and misfires. Here's a look at Sammy Whitcomb that in the end, really opened up for her in the lane, lost control, and the ball goes out of bounds.
Interim coach Shelley Gorman will breathe a sigh of relief there. You don't want Sammy Whitcomb to get off early. I think we'll see. It'll be interesting to see what both teams do defending each other's ball screen action. We saw Perth on this last defensive stand, a 3-way switch on the ball screen as we see Willoughby down the guts. Couldn't find the floater.
She's had 2 big games, Willoughby, against the Perth Lynx in the previous 2 encounters as well, so she'll be hoping to make that 3 big games on the trot as Scherf steps back and knocks it down. Perth hot early.
We talked about Scherf in the opener, what a season she's having, and to see someone of that talent look like a guard then, shoots a little step back 3, huge shot to open her scoring account.
Here's Keely Froling. Doesn't get the lucky roll, but there's that grit and determination on display. Gets the offensive rebound, draws the contact, and will head to the line.
Yeah, Froling will be key to the Sydney Flames outfit tonight. We know she can play front to the basket as she does then against, she liked her chances against Alex Sharp. Gets her own board, suckers a foul from Scherf. That's a big foul early for the Sydney Flames to steal from Lauren Scherf.
So she's had 10+ points in all but 1 game so far this year, Keely Froling. That 1 game was the last time these two sides met, and she had 6 points, but just the 11 rebounds as well. So she'll be hoping to respond with a big game today, Keely Froling. She's good on both attempts to start here. As Harry mentioned, an early foul against Lauren Scherf. There'll be a lot asked of Scherf as well as the pick and roll comes off here. Banks it in off the glass.
Yeah, I think that'll be one of their tactics today. Can they rim roll Scherf a fair bit, see if she can maximise size as we see the quick answer by Shervin at the other end.
That'll be a nice little confidence booster for Hannah Shervin, who played arguably her best game of the season on Wednesday night against the Flyers. There's a Whitcomb, hoops for Sharp. Look away pass was nice. Just misfiring on that occasion. It was Atwell who's got the start today. Look at Mangakar here, the reverse. That was a pretty play, didn't quite come off. And once again, Keely Froling, rinse and repeat, draws the foul and will go to the charity stripe.
Yeah, big for them. And the foul count, certainly for teams that are undermanned, if they've got players out through injury or for other circumstance, keeping their core group on the floor is critical. And a couple of quick fouls. Nice work for the Sydney Flames. Keely Froling taking up that load on the inside, getting the boards, suckering fouls to get herself to the free throw line.
The other thing to note as well is the last time these two sides met, at quarter time, the score was 17-7 in favour of the Sydney Flames. It was Perth's worst quarter of the entire season, but then they backed it up in the second quarter with a 32-13 quarter, which set them up for that victory. As Whitcomb drives inside, no foul is called, and the Flames will bring it into the front court. Really good look for Mangakar here. She misfires. Another offensive rebound, though, by the Flames. Shervin loses control. They've still got the ball in their front court here, the Flames.
Sydney Flames crashing the O-glass. Massive for them early. That's kept them in touch.
3 offensive rebounds to zip early stages, 2 of them to Keely Froling. Here's Willoughby. Was hoping for Shervin to cut towards the basket, but was well read by Scherf, who comes up with the steal. Tries to play point guard and get around Willoughby. That doesn't come off.
tough ask for anyone, let alone a 6'5" centre against the talent and athleticism of Jocelyn Willoughby.
Willoughby in some hot form this season. Great to have her part of the WNBL this season. Carr here to Shervin. The mid-range 2 is off target. Sharp brings down the rebound. Ryan goes to work. She loves the situation. Driving towards the rack. Gets rid of her opponent. And then a pass inside for Sharp. Beautiful basketball from the Lynx.
Well read by Alex Sharp. Saw that Robbie Ryan was in a bit of strife there in the paint. Makes a basket cut. Finds herself with a cheap 2 points.
Noosis lobs it in for Shervin. This is her task now, going up against Scherf. Well played Mangakar here to Willoughby. And that's even better team basketball at the other end by the Flames.
Yeah, good ball movement, good, particularly, and their player movement off that penetration. Make basket cutters so they can find a cheapie.
Scherf goes to work on Shervin. Backing down, trying to get a decent shot up. It's a tough left-hand attempt in the end, and a nice rebound from Keely Froling. He's got 4 boards.
Defended by Shervin there, just held her ground, forced Scherf to shoot an off-balance shot to a non-preferred hand.
Foul against Sammy Whitcomb. As Shervin hit the deck, Hannah Shervin.
Foul count racking up here for the Perth Lynx.
13 foul on Ryan Petrick's side.
Strategically here, the Sydney Flames are really looking to go to the mismatch. They saw a mismatch there with Sammy Whitcomb on Shervin. Shervin makes an intelligent play, flashes to the rim, draws a foul on the undersized Sammy Whitcomb, and star shooter for the Perth Lynx.
Willoughby, lovely find for Froling, who knocks down the easy 2.
Wow, penetration is really helping Sydney Flames at the minute, putting the ball on the deck hard, drawing some help defence, finding the open player, diving to the basket.
Ryan trying to drive hard inside, but didn't quite come off.
Noose is called for the foul with a little slap behind. Beaten on penetration, thought she'd have a little poke at the ball from behind. The referee said, you can do that if you like, but we might slap you with a foul.
A good response here from the Flames after opening a couple of baskets for the Lynx. Bibby now on the floor for Perth. And they've worked the ball nicely around the perimeter, inside for Scherf for the 2.
Well executed, the Perth Lynx, a little on big screen. They pull Scherf straight to the rim off a screen from a small, see if they can force a switch. Well executed, got themselves an easy basket. As we see Chloe Bibby in the ball game. What impact can she have for the Lynx?
A mighty WNBL's campaign, Chloe Bibby. Noosis. Mangakar here, trying to get around Ryan. Back for Panousis, only 3 to shoot now, has to put it up. Vanessa Panousis. Prayer is not answered, but Keely Froling crashing the offensive glass again.
Wow, she's setting the standard on the glass at the offensive end. Keely Froling for her team in this first quarter.
Panousis with a look for 3. Didn't come off. Willoughby couldn't bring down another offensive rebound. Amy Atwell brings it into the front court for the Lynx. Scherf stops and props in and out from the 3-point attempt, and Mangakar here wraps her arms around that Spalding. 4.5 to play in the first quarter. Early arm wrestle developing at the Quaycentre. Shervin almost travelled. Scherf brings down the rebound.
Keely Froling couldn't get her mid on that one as much as she tried.
Big start for Froling. Already got the 6 boards and 6 points. Nice cut from Atwell. Well read by Mangakar here. Gets the steal.
Defensive intensity for the Sydney Flames is on song.
Willoughby guarded closely here by Sharp. Such an elusive player. Wonderful to watch. Froling is a 3-point look and knocks it down, and she can do no wrong early.
Swish for Keely Froling from the corner. Huge for her team. Captaining the Sydney Flames team without their start point guard, Shyla Hill, without their head coach, Shane Hill.
I mean, just a 29% 3-point shooter this year, Keely Froling, so that's a nice confidence booster for her. Bibby loves a turnaround J. Doesn't get the lucky drop on that occasion.
Tempo push here from Sydney Flames. Willoughby shakes and bakes.
No foul call. Sharp brings down the rebound for the Lynx. Getting the start tonight, Alex Sharp. And then works beautifully in tandem with Scherf. And Scherf's in career best assist form at the moment, and Sharp gets the 2.
Yeah, nice cut. Alex Sharp saw that she had the undersized Vanessa Panousis guarding her, cut straight to the rim. As you say, Lauren Scherf averaging 5 assists a game for a 6'5" centre. That's a massive stat.
Yeah, that has her 4th in the competition as well, Lauren Scherf, for assists. Ryan this time feeds Scherf, but that one didn't drop for Lauren Scherf, and another rebound for Keely Froling.
Keely Froling leading her team there. Wrap the ball under her arm on that defensive board. So let's control the tempo here. Let's grind them out in the half court. Let's not get this into a running contest right now. Let's get ourselves a great shot. Let's execute. See if we can draw a foul.
Panousis, mid-range 2 drops. So they're running with their starting 5. No subs yet early for the Sydney Flames, and Panousis, who got the start, gets her first points of the game. Ryan drives hard inside and will head to the line after drawing some contact from Shervin.
Yeah, nice little hesitation there. Robbie Ryan's looking to put the ball on the floor. That's her thing. She likes to get it downhill, get her feet in the paint. Fortunate there to draw a foul from Shervin.
So there, now the Flames will make their first couple of substitutions. We can see Willoughby and Mungakar here coming off the court. We see Robbie Ryan at the line for the Lynx, a 62% free throw shooter.
Yeah, not a great clip for a WNBL player. You want, the good shooters are in the 80s, the great shooters are in the 90s. She'd be disappointed with that as a free throw percentage.
1 of 2 on her first 2 attempts tonight. So Emma Clark is now on the floor for the Flames, former Perth Lynx player herself. Also on the floor is Allen for Sydney, as Keely Froling again, showing that grit and determination to follow up after the missed field goal. Clark had it knocked away from her.
Keely Froling with 7 boards. 2 minutes to go in this first quarter. She's on track for probably a career high rebounding contest. 3 offensive, 4 defensive boards. Massive possession effort from Keely Froling.
Allen all by herself in the corner, couldn't hit the 3. Opportunity here for the Lynx. Atwell in rhythm, can't knock that one down. Just the offensive rebounds, not too forthcoming for the Lynx early stages of this one. Flames able to get a few stops under their belt.
Flames again, happy to get into the half court. Execute as Shervin lets it fly from just beyond the free throw line. Can't make that one.
Here's Burrows. She's having her first minutes of the game. Atwell lobbing it in for Scherf. Big matchup here on Froling. What can Scherf do? Tough hook shot. Oh, banks it in off the glass. That is all class, Lauren Scherf.
One-on-one post class down low there. Just backed her man in. She's got size and length over Keely Froling. Froling did a good job to keep her body, but Scherf just got herself close to the rim. It was a low post clinic.
Pretty hard to defend that. As Clark feeds Panousis into the final minute here. Panousis can't get the floater to go. Bibby brings down the rebound. Good start, good game of hoops this one between these two sides. As Bibby almost lost control, got it back and couldn't bank it in. She's earned 2 free throws for the Lynx.
Foul there on Emma Clark. Send Bibby to the line. She's shooting the free throw exceptionally. Oh, it's one of the chinks in her armor, actually. She's down in the low 60s, Her other stats are superb so far this season. 19 points a game at 50% from the field, 5 rebounds she averages, but a lowly 61%.
Pretty handy when you can have a player like Chloe Bibby come off the bench as well. She's one of the 4 players in that extended Opal squad to come out of the Lynx alongside Scherf, Atwell and Whitcomb. Yeah,
reward for her, reward for a season, deservedly in that extended Opals squad.
It's a nice little run here for the Lynx just to get them some scoreboard advantage just before quarter time. Clark pulls the trigger. Wow, nylon.
That's a big shot leading into this end of this first quarter. Momentum, the crowd jump on the back of that.
Nice one against their old side as well. Burrows for Scherf, for Bibby. Puts it up and we'll head to the line.
Second personal for Shervin. That's a big foul. 14 seconds to go in this first quarter. That hurts. This interim head coach, Shelley Gorman, elect to take her out. She's probably not going to foul here unless it's a charge. She can play one offensive set, but no, she does.
Kira Rowe comes onto the floor in place of Shervin. As Chloe Bibby returns to the line. You mentioned her numbers this year, Carrie, are pretty impressive. 17 points per game and going at 48% clip from the field, both in the top 10 in the WNBL.
She's strong, she's powerful, she's quick for her size, she's got a nice perimeter stroke.
The final 10 seconds of this entertaining first quarter. Can the Flames level it up or maybe even take the lead? Lovely pass from Panousis, and it almost came off. Froling was there. Bibby did really well to get a hand in there at the right time and force it out of bounds.
Yeah, big defensive play. Chloe Bibby, nice feed from Panousis into the rolling Froling.
Yeah, and she's won the ball back for Perth as well, so it means they will have the lead. The referee just calls for the correct time to be placed on the scoreboard. Might just have a prayer opportunity, Perth, just before the quarter-time buzzer. But overall, it's been a pretty good start to this game, Carrie.
Yeah, it has. Look, high-quality basketball. Good execution at both ends of the floor. A mixture of people scoring. Early on some quick fouls for the Perth Lynx. Later in the quarter, fouls seem to go the other way. But this is a good ball game. It's a tight one.
20-18 in favour of Perth Lynx. Just wait for the correct time to be placed on the scoreboard. You mentioned Shelley Gorman taking the reins from Shane Heal as the head coach. When you were coaching Shelley back in the day, Carrie, could you foresee her being a senior coach one day?
Yeah, look, I guess you never view your players that way in particular, but Shelley certainly, when she retired at the UC Capitals, she had a year assistant coaching with Tom Maher, who was coaching at the time. So, a lot of the players, put their toe in the water early. She's had a long career away from playing as a personal trainer and has her own fitness business. But, she's got a passion for the game and always has. It's like she says, it was the only job she ever had. She was one of our first ever fully professional basketball players, paved the way for some of our athletes, as did Michelle Timms and Sandy Brondello in Europe early. Shelley played in the ABL, which was the precursor to the WNBA, the first pro league for women in the 90s. Played in the WNBA, triple Olympian, WNBL MVP, 5-time champion. She knows this league and the game inside out, and she's got great people skills. And she's coached with Shane now for 2 seasons. She says she's learning a lot from him. So she's putting this, I'm sure she said she was really nervous the first one, but she's enjoying it. So
she's got her side only down by 2 points at quarter time, Shelley Gorman, as we have a look at some of the early highlights from this first quarter. And as you mentioned, Carrie, it has been an entertaining contest so far. It has been an arm wrestle where the Lynx had a bit of a stronger start. The Flames able to hit back, but I suppose the one constant throughout that first quarter, Keely Froling, 9 points, 8 rebounds in a quarter. Pretty solid from her. Yeah,
she was impressive on the glass, particularly at the offensive end. She came up with 2-0 boards that sent herself to the free throw line. Leading by example in terms of effort and intensity, and setting it up for her team to be right in touch again in this one, where you'd consider they're underdogs. Yes, they're at home, but they're underdogs. They're undermanned, but they're playing with the right intensity. Then we talk about the Lynx team. They execute well. They find mismatches and score against those. They play well as a team. They play inside out. This is a hell of a ball game.
And Perth Lynx shooting very nicely from the field at the moment, going at 50% from the field as well. But as Carrie mentioned, able to get to the free throw line, the Flames, which is why they've been still right in the contest early stages of this one. Quarter time, it's the Perth Lynx leading the Sydney Flames 20-18, but certainly no panic stations for either coach at this stage.
No, absolutely. I mean, as you say, it's an arm wrestle. It's a 2-point ball game. We're kind of back to the start. Stats are pretty even. I don't think Coach Ryan Petrick would be happy with that rebound count. I think he would feel that his team, have more size generally. They're one of the better rebounding teams in the competition, and certainly rebound the ball statistically better than the Sydney Flames. I don't think he'll be happy with that stat. I'm sure they'll come out. And in fact, here he's got a bigger group here. He's got, Bibby back in the lineup with Scherf. I think he's perhaps looking at that a little bit to say, we've got to tidy that up. We've got to keep Keely Froling off the offensive glass. We can't give them cheap baskets.
Yeah, take the defensive rebounds down to the count, and it's 6 zip in favour of the Flames. Perth yet to have an offensive rebound. So that's something that Ryan Petrick won't be too happy with, as you mentioned, carry. But still plenty of time left in this ball game. Second quarter underway from the Quaycentre in the Harbour City. Great to have you with us wherever you're watching. Some Cygnett WNBL action. Lynx holding a 2-point advantage. Panousis for Froling. A good look for three there, wide open.
Yeah, just a little short, well executed. They saw Scherf there packing off the ball screen. You know, the language often used by coaches is it drops action. Kelly Froling popped out and dared to stretch that, but just couldn't get the legs under that 3-point shot.
Is Ryan spinning away from Panousis. Couldn't get that one a drop. Coming over the top there, Mackenzie Clinch-Hoycard knocks it. Is involved in that rebound contest. It's deemed off Flames' hand, so a fresh 14 here for Perth to work with.
Interestingly, I haven't seen loans of Sammy Whitcomb tonight. You know, maybe there's many minutes management happening there. Maybe a slight injury, not sure, but unusual that she's not on the floor much. Coach Ryan Petrick may be managing that, see play more in the second half if she's on reduced minutes.
Speaking of reduced minutes, are you expecting any reduced minutes for Tiana Mangakar here tonight?
Yeah, well, you know, our understanding is that she may be on reduced minutes just from a loading perspective. So again, you know, interesting to see how interim head coach Shelley Gorman deals with that. Does she play her earlier then pull her? You know, it's a challenging one for coaches. Do you play them in the first half, second? Do you play them a bit in each quarter? And really, I guess you're guided a little bit by what's happening in the actual contest.
She almost played 8 minutes in that first quarter alone, so we'll keep a close eye on that as the game progresses. Rowe with a good look for three. Can't get that one a drop. There's Alex Sharp bringing down a rebound. Top 10 in the competition. Alex Sharp 4 rebounds this season, averaging 7 per game. Scherf on Rowe here. She fancy herself. Instead, she kicks it out for Clinch-Hoycard. Can't get it to go. And then they finally bring down an offensive rebound. It's Sharp who rips it away. Gives them a second chance. Sharp with a lovely spin there on Clark. And not quite sure if she was shooting or passing. Referee deemed that she was shooting, so Sharp is fouled and will head to the line to shoot a couple.
Speaking of fouls, Sammy Whitcomb's on 2 personal fouls. That would be probably the reason why Coach Ryan Petrick is saying, look, just come and take a seat here for a little bit.
Coping okay at the moment. Alex Sharp will be heading to the free throw line now. Carrie, she's got 17 of 18 free throw attempts.
Are you trying to put a mozzie on her?
No, just displaying the facts that she is now 18 of 19 from the charity stripe.
You know, when you talk about great free throw percentages, she has one, 93%.
And she's
that'll rise a little bit now.
She's still going nicely, Alex Sharp. A lot of people would say, you know, there's 4 players from the Lynx in that extended Opal squad. Alex Sharp was not one of those players, and you could argue that she was probably stiff to miss the 24-player squad.
Yeah, and players like that have been knocking on the doors for the next couple of years. You know, the squads extend out, you know, a few years out from major tournaments, but you know, you've got to keep putting your best foot forward and show the selectors that maybe, you know, next cut, you're part of that extended squad.
Jocelyn Willoughby gets her second field goal of the night, as that attempt from Ryan is well off target. Mangakar here back on the floor. Clark inside for Froling. Great matchup there with Sharp. Good defense from Sharp. Missed shot from Froling. Ryan brings down the rebound. Bibby thought about the three, then drove hard inside. It had a ripped away by Mangakar here. Kicks up the tempo, trying to spin away from Ryan. Still keeps control. Willoughby in and out from the 3-point attempt.
Yeah, the Perth bench screaming for a travel call. Mangakar looked like she was on the dance floor. A few spins. The referees didn't deem it that way.
Tiana now with the ball. After a couple of up and down minutes there. Oh, great defense there from Mackenzie Clinch-Hoycard.
Keely Froling gobsmacked that she's not getting a call down low. We see her tonight not sporting the headband to cover up the 6 stitches that she copped in a game a few weeks ago. Unlucky maybe not to get the call there, but much easier from where the referees are sitting.
She's got a chance here, Froling. Oh, and now she's given away the offensive foul. Well, that really does rub salt into the wounds. She will be livid now, Keely. Here's a look on replay. Bit of mayonnaise maybe from Chloe Bibby?
Perhaps a little bit, but you know, she might win an award for other things than scoring or rebounding this year. But if you can get the call, there was a little bit of contact there. I'm not sure that, I'm going to say Chloe Bibby's probably got a bit of power and strength and weight on Keely Froling. I'm not sure that a little bump from her might knock you over, but smart play if you can get the call.
Speaking of smart, Sammy Whitcomb back on the floor, driving hard, scoring straight away. What a star she is. She wanted a call, none forthcoming, but she will certainly take the 2 points.
She just finds a way to finish, Sammy Whitcomb. We know she's an exceptional perimeter shooter, but her ability to put the ball on the floor and find a finish is almost as phenomenal. Speaking of phenomenal...
Oh, Jocelyn Willoughby. What a lovely stroke. Knocks down the long-range attempt.
Makes it look easy.
At the other end, Bibby responds with her own triple.
Touche, says Chloe Bibby.
Lovely stuff from both of these two teams. Responding to each other's challenges early. Here's Froling. This time a clinch Hoy card. And this time she gets the call. She will head to the free throw line.
Calls her troops in. Wants to talk about what do we do defensively, what are the matchups. They're going to keep going inside to Froling, see if she can get a finish, get a call.
You talked about Keely's leadership. We noticed certainly in the Wednesday night games when we had the two coaches mic'd up and when Shelley Gorman was addressing her side, Keely was the player really leading by example and being very vocal during those timeouts.
Yeah, absolutely. And Shelley said, she said she wants to engage the players. And, for some coaches, they don't like the players speaking too much in the timeouts. But Shelley said it's their team. She's happy for that to happen. And Keely certainly stepped into that. And you can see her there leading in the huddles, directing traffic, helping control tempo.
Game number 141 in the WNBL tonight for Keely Froling. Sharp v Clark. And nicely worked out there by Sharp. Banks it in off the glass.
She's
the Lynx a 4-point lead.
Impressive with her cuts to the rim. Finds a finish.
She's going to work on former teammate Emma Clark. Timeout call here in this Cygnett WNBL clash. This timeout is brought to you by CTM Sport. And if you're considering travelling interstate with your basketball team, consider CTM Sport. They've got a competitive, innovative and customised travel solution which will put your team on top. For more information, head to ctmsport.com.au. Talking about Keely Froling being vocal in the timeouts. There's Sammy Whitcomb being very vocal in timeouts. Not only a leader at Perth Lynx level, but certainly at national level, Sammy Whitcomb.
Yeah, she is. And that's what the great players do. They obviously they take care of their own game, whether that's shooting, rebounding, making assists, doing the little things. But their ability to engage the rest of the team, can they lead through using their voice and help engaging in a timeout or in a huddle, or is it leadership through directing traffic on the floor? But, Sammy Whitcomb certainly does that.
So there are your top scorers so far. Keely Froling with the 11 points and 8 rebounds. She's 6 of 6 from the free throw line early, Keely Froling, because she's drawn 3 fouls herself and had the 3 offensive rebounds. She's been mighty underneath the glass.
Leading away from the front is the Sydney Flames captain, Keely Froling.
There's Sammy Whitcomb on screen, coming off a big last game against the Flyers. She had 33 points, went a 60% clip from the field, coming off a real hot game. And when Sammy Whitcomb is hot and she gets the points flowing, there's few better sights in the WNBL.
Yeah, she's impressive to watch, and she's hard to defend. You got to decide, do you double team her? Does that let someone else loose? Because she's a great feeder. As we see, great feed and finish, and one inside for Keely Froling. Clearly the Sydney Flames tactic is to get the ball inside to Keely Froling. She's feeling that she can draw fouls at the moment. We see some horns action, roll and rise. Great finish, and one.
4th assist as well for Tiana Mangakar here, as Keely Froling will head to the line for the 4th time tonight. She's unsuccessful on that and one attempt. Perth make her pay at the other end. Ryan drives in and out. Whitcomb blinking, would have missed that pass to Atwell.
See the hard, aggressive trap on Whitcomb. She finds a way out of that. Alex Sharp under duress, can't get the finish inside.
Willoughby brings down the rebound. Kira Rowe and Mangakar here slow down the tempo. It's a real opportunity with Shyla Heel out for Mangakar here to really run the floor. Here's Froling, kicking it out for Willoughby, just a little to her right. They've only got 3 seconds to shoot here. Jocelyn Willoughby wouldn't want the ball in too many other players' hands in that situation, but she's just short. And Whitcomb will bring it into the front court. Going to work on Willoughby. Kicking it out for Ryan. He's got 10 seconds to work with here. Guarded closely by Mangakar here. Tough fadeaway. Oh, that drops as well. Terrific finish from Robbie Ryan.
Tough finish. Over Panousis, you know, similar size.
Here's Mangakar here. Pulls up from the charity stripe and knocks it down. That's her first points of the night.
Yeah, nice little finish there. They've been playing off, you know, extending pressure on a little bit. She's found a way to get the ball inside to Froling, but she takes her own one there. Finds herself a wide open shot just shy of the free throw line.
Mangakar here. Going to work now. Willoughby.
Mismatch down low. They've missed it. Shervin had the undersized Robbie Ryan. Launches it. Keely Froling from the three.
She cannot be stopped. Keely Froling, what a game she is playing for her side. She's got 16 points as a timeout is called. And it's a 30-31 ball game in favour of the Perth Lynx, but 32 rather. In fact, with the Perth Lynx leading at the moment. And Keely Froling is playing one heck of a game at the moment, Carrie.
Yeah, she is. Look, and you know, both ends of the floor. I mean, her offensive rebounding count has been huge, but going at the rim hard, you know, thought she was unfortunate not to get a few foul calls early, but she stuck with it. She's created some and-one plays. We saw her hit a three from the corner early in the first quarter. Now she hits that big momentum swinging three-pointer there. She's certainly leading from the front with her team.
Yeah, her season best so far, Keely Froling, is the 26 points, but she's on her way so far with 16 and just under half a quarter left in the second term as well. Flames.
Coach Ryan Petrie, interested to see what he does out of this timeout. He's called that timeout to try and hold the momentum. He sensed it on that big three. The crowd will get involved. They change something up here. What are they going to do differently against Keely Froling? Will we see them throw a bit of zone? But she's certainly the one they need to make an adjustment to right now.
So it's 32-31 in favour of the Flames at the moment. There's Robbie Ryan guarded closely here by Panousis. Scherf also back on the floor. Kicking it out for Atwell. Tough gig here against Willoughby. Good defence from Willoughby as well. Froling brings down another rebound.
Willoughby's been tough defensively in those one-on-one scenarios against penetration. She's quick, she's strong.
Willoughby can't knock down the three. Oh, it's fumbled there by a couple of players. Sydney were adamant that was off Lynx' hands, but the referee thinks otherwise.
Again, we see the Sydney Flames attacking the offensive boards. Shervin got a piece of it, nearly created possession for her team. They're really setting a standard at that end of the floor.
Ibby feeds Atwell. Wickham, step back, dangerous. Very dangerous for the Sydney Flames when Sammy Wickham does that.
She just makes it look so easy. You know, the stroke on her ball, she shoots it with absolute precision. She's dead straight. She's got great arc, great rhythm. You know, that's what the great shooters do. She shoots it dead straight every time. Unbelievable. Shervin
responds with her own triple at the other end. So she has spent a fair bit of time off the floor because she is in a little bit of early foul trouble. 2 fouls to her name. Wickham, though, responds at the other end.
Oh!
Watch out. We could be in for a Sammy masterclass from beyond the perimeter.
Sammy Wickham was the double touche then. She's like, you're going to touche me? I'll double touche you, kid.
Brilliant to watch.
Wow.
You're seeing a cracking WNBL contest at the moment. Not much separating these two teams. It's a turnover.
Interim head coach Shelley Gorman won't be happy with that. She was an unbelievable shooter herself, one of the great shooters of the WNBL of all time. You know, once she had her eye, and she was an unbelievable shooter. She'd know that the way they're defending Sammy Wickham right now won't get it done. You can't let Sammy Wickham get a sniff this next offensive possession.
Tiana Mangakar here is the one trying to guard Wickham closely. Scherf double team there, and Mangakar here held an arm there of Scherf and gives away the foul.
Yeah, and that's where Wickham's, you know, so intelligent, great basketball IQ. She's stroked a couple of threes. They've played it tighter, changed their tactic on the ball screen action. She finds the rolling Scherf against the mismatch. finds a way to draw a foul for her team in that mismatch scenario.
And then underneath, Sammy Whitcomb having one heck of a quarter.
The C's part for Sammy Whitcomb, and she finds a way to get an easy 2 off that base out of bounds play.
She's got 10 points.
Coach Shelley Gorman won't be happy with that defensive execution on the base out of bounds.
Frolling at the other end continues her ripping night.
No, Coach Ryan Petrick on that loosey-goosey defense. It looked like it might have been the zone, and Keely Frolling just slid through the middle.
Oh, Whitcomb kicks it out for Atwell. Lovely find. She can't hit the triple, though. Bibby can't keep it alive either. Worked out by Panousis and Mungakar here. Panousis for Willoughby. That's dangerous. She knocks it down, and that's her second triple of the night.
Great ball movement by the Sydney Flames. You know, unselfish. Panousis gives it up. Swing pass to the wide open Willoughby. Is the lady of the moment, Sammy Whitcomb. What's that, 10 points in a minute 30?
Feels like it. What a run it's been from Sammy. What a game this is. Hope you're enjoying it wherever you're watching. Two teams desperate to try and keep their fading finals hopes alive. That's maybe a miscommunication on defence. Willoughby is rewarded with the 2.
Yeah, absolutely. They're in a zone defence there, lack of communication. You could see Sammy Whitcomb screaming for help down on the baseline side. She was trying to lock out a wing shooter. She strokes the 3 but can't make that one.
Yes, it is a great sight, and Sammy is feeling it from deep. Willoughby, no foul calls, and Scherf brings down the rebound.
Physical play there.
Sharp back on the floor. Whitcomb directing traffic.
Mismatch down low, they missed it.
Atwell, she pulls the trigger. When Perth are feeling it from deep, few more pretty sights in the WNBL.
Yeah, they got a lot of shooters with a beautiful stroke. Really good to watch. If you're doing a coaching clinic, you line up about 4 or 5 of the Perth Lynx athletes and say, this is how you shoot. Look at their technique. They put up the numbers, but they've also got great technique.
Frolling, fading away. This is a first half to remember from Keely Frolling. She's got 20.
She has been impressive. Inside, outside, on the boards.
Whitcomb finds a way through, and then Frolling puts up the block. Whitcomb, to her credit, kept on going. Sharp puts it back in for 2 just before the buzzer, and that almost sums up this first half. It's hard to know where to look. Second chance opportunities galore. Terrific 3-point plays as well. And at halftime, it's the Lynx with a 46-44 lead. Carrie Graff, a breathtaking first half of hoops.
Yeah, it was massive. I mean, individual players making big plays and big shots. We spoke about Sammy Whitcomb. You know, she sat on the bench for a large portion of that first quarter with a couple of fouls. She comes in and she's a microwave. She went bang, bang with the 3, then puts it on the deck. Willoughby answers, Shervin answers, and Keely Frolling, boy, has she been good. You know, you try and shut down Sammy Whitcomb. Bibby steps up and hits a 3. You know, Sharp's worked hard to get cuts inside and try and get mismatches. You know, Keely Frolling went inside on the roll down often. They found her. She got to the free throw line. Robbie Ryan finds one here with a little fade spin-off move.
Yeah, highlights galore right throughout this first half. Keely Frolling already has tonight is part of the inaugural Pride Round games for the Adelaide Lightning. Not sure if she was trying to dribble or go behind the back there. Kabila, it might pay off because Whittle lays it in for 2. Stolen there by Brooke. Ellie Wilson regains control, and Annalie Maley, beautiful stroke. Another offensive rebound for Maley. That was almost too easy off the offensive glass.
So too to Whitcomb. Atwell now launches. The Perth Lynx went on a great run there, and Whitcomb wants to get a basket back and does. Not quite having the night she had last time against this team, but Whitcomb is playing for this Perth Lynx side. So too does Amy Atwell, and nails the 3.
Paige Burrow's going to work. George puts up a long-range 3 and nails it. Kayla G for 3. George with the block on Burrell. George feeling it at the other end.
3 seconds. Munga's going to have to put up a shot. She gives it off. Almost a half court from Melbourne is good. What a shot, Jade Melbourne.
Oh, that was just what you call a buzzer beater last-second fling.
All the energies with Canberra at the moment. Swain and one. Get a high percentage shot if possible. Munga loses her feet. Burrell for three. Dagger! Massive basket, Ray Burrell. It's one of the upsets of the season as the Caps break through to end their 12-game losing streak.
Sports fans, this is your chance to be part of history and celebrate Australia's greatest basketballer of all time.
Yes, Lauren Jackson, you are the queen of basketball and we love it.
LJ's Southside Flyers host the Sydney Flames in the first ever WNBL game at John Cain Arena.
Oh, she's feeling it. She's seriously feeling it.
You won't want to miss this history-making moment in women's basketball. Be part of a record WNBL crowd. Tickets on sale now at Ticketek.
Do not underestimate the power of a good blind. Take this exhausted couch. Now it stands before you. Magnifique. Even this cocktail of dead skin is gracefully waltzing. Da 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 da. DIY blinds. Change the ugly.
Tune in to the WNBL show, dropping weekly during the season and released across your favourite podcast network every Tuesday. Or watch the full vodcast at WNBL.basketbol.
League MVP. I'll never get used to that, by the way. That's a bit strange.
We can always come to you for a great inspirational quote.
Join me, Megan Hustway, and my team of co-hosts, stars across the league, as we talk about everything that's happening on and off the court in the Cygnett WNBL.
The ultimate Grand Slam experience is on 9 now.
Incredible stuff.
We've got every match on every court streaming for free.
How good is that?
Catch the thrilling highlights, follow your favourite players, and see the superstars whenever they play. The Australian Open, every match, every court streaming live and free on 9 now.
Gossip Girl here, your one and only source into the scandalous lives of Manhattan's elite. XOXO Gossip Girl.
Get your summer streaming on 9 now.
This is our vow to you.
What's coming down the aisle?
We'll send Australia
I look like the girl next door.
wild.
I'm actually a little freak in the sheets.
The phenomenon of love is bigger
You're a lucky man.
than ever.
She's not doing too badly herself.
New Married at First Sight, Monday, Jan 30 on 9.
The great champion. He's a rare phenomenon.
Who is the greatest tennis player of all time?
Djokovic or Nadal?
I wonder what the 100 thinks.
You have Australia's support.
Hi Hoopers, I'm Tess Madgen. I'm so excited to be offering virtual masterclasses this school holidays with She Hoops. Starting on the 9th of January at 5:30pm every Monday night. In this 5-week series, we will be delivering a range of basketball skills. I will also take you through a number of mobility skills designed to keep your body active and engaged. And the best part is that it's free. Go to shehoops.com.au to register now and secure your spot.
The ultimate Grand Slam experience is on 9 now.
Incredible stuff.
We've got every match on every court streaming for free.
How good is that?
Catch the thrilling highlights, follow your favourite players, and see the superstars whenever they play. The Australian Open, every match, every court streaming live and free on 9 now.
So baby, in 90 days, we're going to be husband and wife.
I was with her for 5 days, and then I proposed to her.
She's so eager to be in love. She lets red flags just go.
People say 19-year-old, she's just using you. Maybe she could be.
90 Day Fiancé. Get your summer streaming on 9 now.
It's the biggest WNBL season yet, and superstar Lauren Jackson returns. Turn it up. Don't miss a block, basket, or game winner.
Just not steal the win.
WNBL, live on 9 now.
Welcome back to the Quaycentre in Sydney, where we have got a Froling for the Flames, who's the captain of the side, has stepped up. She already has 20 points and 10 rebounds at half-time. It looks great on the stat sheet, but it's also what she's doing from a leadership perspective and just leading by example, which is, you can't take her eyes off her out the floor at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. And she set the stage early by her offensive rebounding efforts in that first half. She'd get no board, not get a putback, but get herself to the free throw line. You know, she played inside, she played outside. She's 2 of 3 from the three-point line. We see her there, stroke one with a swish from, you know, and that's not her biggest asset. I mean, she can shoot the three, but she's been all over the place here. Played well off the ball screen, rolled down, tried to take her opponent, smaller opponents down on the block and score off that rim roll action. We see it corner three, like she was feeling 2 or 3 from the three-point line, 20 points, 10 boards. We've seen her lead in huddles. We've seen her on the bench engaged in the timeouts with interim head coach Shelley Gorman. This is going to be a career-high game, I think. I can sense that coming for Keely Froling.
From a perspective from Sydney, you mentioned it a number of times, it seems clear they're trying to expose Perth defensively by going to Froling as much as they can underneath the basket.
Yeah, look, they have been. They've been rolling. You know, if someone other than Scherf is guarding it, they're clearly on the rim roll.
Yep.
When Scherf guards, the Scherf plays drops where she sags off that person setting the pick. That's when she popped down and looked to shoot one of the three. So they're really trying to maximise any mismatches they've got there. It'll be interesting to see if they try and attack that again in the start of this third quarter.
Lauren Scherf trying to get us underway with a 3-ball. Doesn't quite come off. Keely Froling brings down board number 11. So she's got her 4th double-double already of this WNBL campaign of hers. As Willoughby pulls up for the mid-range too and can't get it to go. Sharp brings down the rebound.
And we saw Froling then crash the offensive glass hard. You get rewarded if you go every time.
Oh, athletic from Sharp. Lost her footing. Then was able to find Atwell, who missed the 3. She followed up and laid it in for 2.
Vanessa Panousis won't be happy with herself there. You know, hand on the shooter. She turned and looked. She didn't get a body on and block her out. Critical, those block-out plays against great shooters.
Here's Willoughby. Gets the screen, pick and roll for Froling. Kicks it out for Rose. A good 3-point shooter, but that was well off target. All oxygen on that attempt from Kira Rowe.
Yeah, unselfish play by Keely Froling. She saw that she'd suck defence in, spits it out to the wide-open shooter. That's well-executed offence.
And then the cut this time was nice from Scherf, well recognised. And Atwell able to lay it in for 2.
Speaking of well-executed offence, she read the overplay, the denial on the wing, made the back cut. The Perth Lynx do that exceptionally well.
A nice little advantage here for the Lynx, early stages of the 3rd. On a car here for Froling. Can't get that 2 to drop. Really put a foot wrong tonight so far, Keely Froling. Ryan. Atwell, Scherf, back for Atwell. They free her up for 3, but that one doesn't fire. Panousis. Can she make amends at the other end? She can. Mid-range 2 drops for Vanessa Panousis.
Good read for her. Tempo push for the Sydney Flames. Found herself wide open at the free throw line on the pull-up. It's a good stroke for her.
Ooh, pound-for-pound contest we've got between these two sides.
Big defensive stanza right here for the Sydney Flames. Can they stay in touch, keep this thing close?
Try to go for the pick and roll there with Whitcomb and Sharp. What a pass from Whitcomb. Kicks it out for Atwell. Can't get it to go. Ryan brings down the offensive rebound and looked pretty easy almost in the end as she laid it in for 2.
Yeah, again, offensive boards hurting both teams, but certainly right now the Perth Lynx have got the edge on the O boards at the start of this 3rd quarter. It'll be interesting to see in the next minute or 2 does interim head coach Shelley Gorman pull a timeout.
Oh, I've got that's the last 4 offensive rebounds of the game have gone the way of the Lynx. After the Flames had 6-0 in the 1st quarter. Lob pass inside for Scherf, comes off, she fades away, he's fouled by Kira. Oh no, it's a offensive foul. A hook coming across there from Scherf. She's called for it. Flames bench right up, applauding Kira Rowe's defence.
Watch it on the replay here. Oh, they've said she's fended off the block.
Arms were right up there from Kira Rowe.
Scherf's 2nd personal foul. She and Sammy Whitcomb both on 2. Interesting to see here to the Sydney Flames go at either of those 2.
Panousis for 3, falling well short, but Willoughby with a long offensive rebound, and then turn it straight over. Look at the person you don't want to turn the ball over to as well in Sammy Whitcomb. Working in tandem here with Scherf. Now Ryan for Whitcomb from way downtown. Oh my goodness!
Sammy Whitcomb, swish. I mean, it's just sweet to watch. She's a good half a metre off that 3-point line, a deep 3. Strokes it with ease, effortless.
What a sight, Sammy Whitcomb in full flight. Here's Mangakar here. Lovely look-away pass for Froling. She can't get it to go. There's a foul against Mangakar here. As that rebound was contested. First team foul on the Flames.
Her 2nd personal as well. Fouls could be interesting for these teams coming down the stretch.
Shervin also with 2 for the Flames. She's having a seat at the moment.
Momentum timeout here called by interim head coach Shelley Gorman.
This timeout is brought to you by Cygnett, so stay connected with the latest WNBL news and social highlights. Make sure you keep your favourite tech charged up at home or on the go with Cygnett's extensive range of charging products and digital accessories. Big thanks to Cygnett for powering the WNBL with high-quality tech this season. You can explore their range at cygnett.com. Early timeout called in this third quarter, and a really good start for the Lynx in this third quarter, Carrie.
Yeah, look, they've been impressive, particularly on the offensive board. They've had great looks, wide open shots, big shots, but then they've come up with the second possession and found their way inside. They've drawn some fouls. Interesting to see if we see any sort of defensive change-ups here from the Sydney Flames. They come out one time and play a zone. Always dangerous with a team like the Perth Lynx who love to shoot the three. Do they come out and change something up? Do they switch a little more? What do they do? Or do they just say, we've got to lift the intensity defensively, we've got to block out here, but they've got to stay in touch. They don't want to, the third quarter's often spoken about as the championship quarter. They're only 9 down. It's not a massive margin, but it can get to 15 or 20 pretty quickly, or you can pull it back to 1 or 2 pretty quickly as well.
Particularly with the three-point shooting ability of this Perth team. They've got a 9-2 run at the start of this third quarter. Scherf for Whitcomb. She's going to do it again. Too tough to put that one up. Pick and roll here with Scherf, who loses control. Ripped away there by Kira Rowe. Good defense from the Flames. Yeah,
we saw them then try and trap a late trap on the ball handler, Sammy Whitcomb. They scrambled and rotated hard, made it tough for Scherf down low, and they came up with a steal. Very good defensive stop.
Anusis for Mangakar here. Froling trying to set the pick there. Good defense from Ryan. Mangakar here finally feeds Froling, who feeds Rowe, who draws the contact and will head to the line.
Sydney Flames do a great job of executing their half-court offense. They're patient here. Robbie Ryan trying to force Mangakar here away from that ball screen. Keely Froling goes at Scherf, who sits back in the paint in a drops action. Finds the cutting Rowe, who gets herself to the free throw line.
Just the second time this season that Kira Rowe's been at the free throw line. She's 0 of 2 so far, and now she's 1 of 3. Kira Rowe in game number 101. Been around this competition for a long time, particularly with the Southside franchise. He's got a big in the last couple of seasons with the Sydney Flames. So a couple of substitutions with 5.5 left in this third quarter. The Lynx holding a 7-point advantage. They have the momentum in this third quarter. Ryan gets the screen from Scherf and then puts it up for 2, in and out, and a strong rebound there from Shervin.
Big defensive board. She had Scherf all over her.
Yeah, can Willoughby come up with Shervin for Panousis? Mangakar here wants it on the wing. Panousis puts it up herself. Didn't go. Shervin almost brought down the offensive rebound. Ryan brings it away. Fast break was on, and then it's deemed off Atwell's hands. Willoughby did well just to force a fumble, and they get the ball back, the Flames.
She did. This Sydney Flames team, they hang around. They play hard, they play with good intensity. They're playing well as a group, considering the adversity they're going through currently with their head coach, Shane Hill, unavailable, and with their star point guard, Shyla Hill, out for personal reasons. They're playing well as a group. They're playing good intensity.
Mangakar here reverses. Can't get that one to drop, but she gets the offensive rebound with some help from Keely Froling. Lovely pass inside for Shervin. And that's some nice momentum building here for the Flames.
Yeah, good poise for Shervin there. Those buckets, you can rush those sometimes, but great poise. Finds herself an easy 2.
Whitcomb put up a tough attempt. Well, good defense from Willoughby. Another stop for Sydney. They've got the last 4 points of the game. Panousis sets and can't score. And Shervin can't keep it inbounds. It'll be the Lynx to reload from their defensive half.
Might have lifted the roof off the stadium. Yeah. She knocked that one down. Right shot to take, wide open in the corner on the break. So we see extended defense here.
Burrows on the floor for Perth. Kicking up the tempo early. Whitcomb double teams. Scherf free though. And now good look for Bibby, who had a foot just inside the perimeter. A deep 2 from Chloe Bibby.
Big response from the Perth Lynx. They ran the mid-ball screen. They saw the trap action against Sammy Whitcomb, got it down low to Scherf. She spits it out. They get a wide open look.
At the other end, Froling can't get that one to go. Atwell brings down the rebound. Be back on the floor for Perth. Whitcomb driving baseline. Too good. Sammy.
Gosh, she just finds a way to finish. Uses angles off the glass well. She's got great touch.
A couple of buckets in a row. Great response from the Lynx after the Flames challenge in the past couple of minutes. Willoughby aggressive and raising up to get her own offensive rebound. Shervin for Froling. for Panousis, who gets the screen from Froling, who has a look for a mid-range two, can't get it to go, and Willoughby can't bring down the offensive rebound.
Again, well executed. They're getting good looks. They just can't get them to drop.
Scherf storms through the key.
Wow. Left-hand floater.
Able to get that one to drop easily, and they're out to a game-high 11-point lead now, the Lynx.
Danger time for the Sydney Flames here. Critical to 40 seconds to go in this third quarter. Can they claw this back and get it back to 6 or 7 going to the final stanza?
The ball control from Willoughby, but great defense from Bibby. Another stop for the Lynx. They're on a 6-0 lead here, 6-0 run rather. And Bibby can make that 8-0 as she will head to the line.
Yeah, critical hit. The Sydney Flames are playing well. They're executing well, can't get the shots to drop, but if that's happening, you've got to find a way to get stops. And we see here, well executed, fast break bucket. Couldn't get it to drop, but they get Bibby right on the rim. She's at the line for 2. If you're going to foul someone, she's probably not a bad person to foul on this Lynx team. They have some outrageously good free throw shooters.
She's bucked the trend tonight. She is now, good curse, 4 of 5 now from the charity stripe tonight. Chloe Bibby, as we mentioned before, one of 4 Lynx players as part of that extended Opal squad. She connects with the second attempt, and it's now a 12-point advantage for Perth. 2.5 to play in the third. And a couple of stops now, the Flames. Willoughby's threatening. Deep 2, can't drop. Had some good looks in recent times. Jocelyn Willoughby, not dropping for her though. Cut from Burrows. Great recognition is there from Burrows. She draws the contact as well. Count the points.
I don't think she can believe it.
Sammy Wickham pumped. So good to see the veteran celebrating a young gun special play here. What a find, though, from Sammy Wickham.
Cops a big hit from Willoughby. See the young Burrows like, how the hell did I make that? But take that, kid. Take the N1.
Timeout called, and this timeout is brought to you by DIY Blinds. To fit out your home with Australian-made designer-quality window furnishings at the best prices, head to DIYblinds.com.au to order your free samples today. A big quarter this is from the Perth Lynx. It's now an 18-6 third quarter. And they're ripping this game away from the Sydney Flames.
Yeah, they are, Ben. Look, they've executed well. They've made some big shots. And as we've said, Sydney are playing well offensively. They just can't get the shot to drop. And if that's happening, you've got to find a way to get stops at the other end. But they've had all the answers for Perth Lynx, making big shots. They've got out and run off the back of some of those defensive stops. They've got a stranglehold on this game right now. Having said that, 2 minutes to go in this third quarter, can Sydney come out, lift their intensity defensively, shake it loose, maybe get a couple of fast break buckets, see if they can go into that fourth quarter with a bit of momentum. But right now, it's all the Perth Lynx.
Keely Froling yet to score. She went in this third quarter. She went in at halftime with 20 points and 10 rebounds. It hasn't added to her tally so far in this third quarter. Has had the 1 rebound so far in this term. What are you trying to draw up out of this timeout, Carrie, if you're Shelley Gorman?
Yeah, look, I think they've got to try and get something on the interior. They've had a lot of good outside looks or mid-range shots that haven't dropped. See if they can get something going at the rim, whether that's penetration and those drop-down passes, some sort of pick and roll with a rim roll action where they're getting something at the rim, maybe draw fouls and get themselves to the free throw line. If it's not hitting from the perimeter, can they get something interior?
Taya Burrows at the free throw line for the Perth Lynx. 5 of 8 free throw attempts this season, is now 5 of 9 and is deemed off Perth hands. So it's still that 14-point lead, a game-high 14-point lead now for Perth. Two to play in this third quarter. Hit a couple of stops now, the Flames, desperately. What can Captain Keeley come up with? White goes solo, takes on Scherf, kicks it out for Allen. 6 to shoot now for Allen. Back out for Froling. Now Shervin puts up the deep 2. And another good defensive set from Perth.
Well defended by Perth. Clogged it up. Made it tough for Sydney to get anything deep in the lane with penetration or pass.
Here's Burrows again. Feeds Scherf. The hook is lovely from Lauren Scherf. It's a 16-point lead for Perth.
Yeah, she's got an impressive touch close to the basket to Scherf. She can hook it left and right. Great touch for a big.
Going at 55% from the field tonight, Lauren Scherf. Panousis. Tough attempt didn't go. Froling trying to bring down the offensive rebound. Burrows playing a great third quarter here.
She is. Her defense has been impressive.
Ryan knocks down the triple. It is all Perth in this third quarter.
Yeah, the floodgates have opened a little here. It's almost a 20-point ball game.
The 23-6 third stanza in favour of Ryan Petrick's side. And Sydney with very few answers. Froling takes on Scherf. Great defence from Scherf and another rebound from her. It's knocked away there by Froling, and Perth will reload from the baseline.
Yeah, and interestingly, we haven't seen Tiana Munga-Kahia much in this third quarter. We talked about earlier, it might be part of that, unloading and minutes management. That certainly had an impact for them.
She's got 2 points tonight. Munga-Kahia, but 9 assists and 6 rebounds. Pretty handy stat sheet. The star guard, great ball movement from Scherf. Out wide for Bibby. It's a 6-second differential in between game clock and shot clock, as Sharp couldn't get that one to drop. It's her first field goal miss of the night so far. And Sydney will have just under 9 seconds to work with here.
Yeah, critical that they can get a decent shot up here. Don't allow the Perth Lynx a second attempt. You don't want to go in with them with a 21-point lead. Can you get this back to 16? Wide open three or something on the rim. Bit of confidence going into that last quarter.
Willoughby. Foul is called on the Lynx. It's could have gone either way in the end as the Flames work the ball aggressively up the floor. Sharp and Froling coming the other way as well. Such a wonderful player, Alex Sharp. Such a versatile player as well. He's Froling. Can she get consolation basket here? She can't. Excellent defensive work from Lauren Scherf. An excellent defensive quarter from the Lynx. They restrict the Flames to 6 points in the third stanza, put on 23 themselves, and they have a 69-50 lead as we turn for home at the Quaycentre. We'll have a look at the highlights in that third quarter. Carrie Graff outside of his Panusis too. It was basically all Perth.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, they got themselves wide open shots. I mean, we got Sammy Whitcomb shooting deep threes. It looked so easy, but it was at the defensive end. They managed to get stops. Other than a couple of early baskets, Sydney just couldn't get the ball to drop, and then it was all Perth down, like inside, outside for Perth. Get it into Scherf, spit it back out. Put the ball on the floor. We know they can spread the floor. Robbie Ryan steps up for three. That was just all about them. Offensively, they could do pretty much whatever they wanted. Found their way to make tough shots. That's what this Perth Lynx team do. They can make shots under duress in a variety of ways.
It was Sydney's lowest quarter for the entire season so far. Just the 6 points in that third quarter. Great defensive effort from the Lynx. That's what the stats look like at three-quarter time. The Perth Lynx shooting at a very impressive 53%, and importantly have sort of been able to get some ascendancy back off the glass as this game has progressed.
Yeah, they have, and we see that Sydney Flames shooting at 30%. We spoke about it in the third quarter. They were getting good shots. They just couldn't make them, and like you say, the rebounding count has swung Perth's way. That was massive for them. I'm sure that was what most of the halftime communication from Coach Ryan Petrick. I'm sure he addressed the rebound count. The assists have evened up. It was a ball game to halftime. This was really blown out Perth's way.
And it's now a really interesting experience for Shelley Gorman, who came in last Wednesday, stepping, with just over 24 hours notice, stepping up in the absence of Shane Heal. There was this big sort of emotional wave that I think the entire team was playing with in that very close loss to the Southside Flyers. Now their backs are right against the wall after that third quarter domination from the Perth Lynx. It's an interesting experience now for Shelley Gorman.
Yeah, it is. We talked about Munga-Kahia on reduced minutes. That's an impact for them, so you've got less depth. And a player that had a sensational game on Wednesday night. Plus, they've had less time to prepare. They played Wednesday night against Southside. They've had, they would have had a rest day and watched some film and had a light practice and a shoot around for this one. Perth, on the other hand, coming off with confidence, boosting win against the Southside Flyers. They've had a week to prepare for this game. I think this is going to be tough for the Sydney Flames to get back in. But having said that, you hit a couple of threes, you get a couple of stops, the ball game can swing pretty quickly.
Froling driving towards the rack there. Didn't come off with that left-hand attempt as his fourth quarter gets underway. Robbie Ryan has got better as this game has progressed.
As coaches often say, if you can get down by 19 in a quarter, you can get up by 19 in a quarter.
Edwards on the floor here for Perth. Feeds Ryan with 5 to shoot. Robbie Ryan, who loves to drive hard inside, but she lost control. And the Flames will get the ball back. Robbie Ryan, though, arguing her case that may have been knocked out of her hands as she tried to drive in. 24-second shot clock now for the Flames. So Willoughby is going at, and Froling going at 33% from the field, respectively, those two players. As Allen puts up the 2, can't get it to go, and Alex Sharp raising up high there, brings down the defensive board.
Story of the night for the Sydney Flames, just hitting the front of the rim since the third quarter. Just can't get those mid-range shots to drop.
I've heard a lot of commentators in the past, Carrie, say that if it is hitting the front of the rim, it is often a bit of a sign of fatigue as well. As you mentioned, you know, Perth have had as Willoughby finally is able to find the bottom of the net, it is often a sign, though, that maybe teams are dealing with a little bit of fatigue. Yeah,
fatigue and sometimes a bit of tension too. You know, often it drops short because you haven't quite got your rhythm, or you're feeling the pinch a little bit, you tighten up and your technique isn't quite as smooth and easy. But, you know, as you say, undermanned Sydney Flames team with, you know, their star point guard Shyla Hill out. They played a big one on Wednesday night.
Oh, that's a terrific stroke from Maddie Allen at the other end. So the Flames have got the first couple of field goals of this fourth quarter.
As we said, you know, particularly at home, you get a couple early baskets, a couple of stops, the crowd jumps on your back. Momentum can swing pretty quickly in this game.
Couple of stops now for the Flames as Bibby misses her second long-range attempt in this quarter. Willoughby for Panousis for 3. Can't get it to go. Strong rebound from Jessie Edwards.
And we see the Perth Lynx have done a much better job, as we spoke about those three-quarter time stats. The rebounding counts levelled up and swung their way.
Aggressive drive in there from Taya Burrows, who every time she steps on the floor, Lynx games that we've done this year, she's a bundle of energy. She draws for contact again.
Yeah, she's been impressive in a few minutes here, and Coach Ryan Petrick, you know, with his big margin, he's chosen to play a bit, you know, extend his subbing and depth into the bench. As we say that, out goes Edwards, back comes Scherf. You know, he doesn't like it back to 14. Thank you very much. I'll get my main crew, my core group back in. See if we can push this margin back out.
So Taya Burrows at the charity stripe. Been part of the Lynx Academy for several seasons as well. Signed her first pro contract ahead of the 2019-20 season after a couple of seasons with the Lynx Academy. An example of the development there in Western Australia. Taya Burrows playing some great minutes here against the Flames. Panousis has thought about the 3. Mangakar here back on the floor now. Has a look. And misfires. Keely Froling really made Chloe Bibby in that contact.
Yeah, she doesn't shy away from contact, Keely Froling. She's relentless in her pursuit of the boards. Tough defender.
12 rebounds for Keely Froling. A couple of blocks as well. Whitcomb back on the floor. Scherf calls for movement. Guarded here by Mangakar here at the top of the key. Foul is called on the play.
Scherf's playing with confidence. She's got confidence to put, you know, and part of that obviously comes from the way she's playing, but clearly Coach Ryan Petrick, you know, gives her the belief that she can put it on the floor, she can play like that, and when players can play freely, they tend to play well. She's encouraged to put the ball on the floor, use handoffs, handbacks.
Mangakar here called for her third personal foul as Sharp tried to put up that tough reverse attempt. Panousis brings down the rebound. 5-2. Wow, that is awesome from Willoughby. Couldn't quite get that one to go. Showing off her moves, though, superbly.
Great change of pace, puts it between her legs, steps on the gas. Couldn't finish.
Oh, Whitcomb breaks the ankles of Panousis. Can't get that one to drop, though. And the car here brings down the rebound. Drives hard inside them with the one hand, lays it in.
That's what they need. Can they get it? Can they get a stop? Can they get out and run? Get some cheap baskets. We see Captain Keely Froling encouraging her troops. That's what we need. Come on, let's go. Get a defensive stop. Get a cheap bucket. Build some momentum. Still a long time to go in this ball game. 14's nothing in a game of basketball. Yep. 6.5 minutes to go.
Particularly with 6.5 to play. Mangakar here, 2 of 8 from the field. What can Whitcomb do? At the other end, well, the seas parted for it. Almost easily in the end, able to lay that in. It's a big let off there for the Lynx. Mangakar here at the other end. Oh, was almost there. Willoughby had an opportunity. Drives hard inside, misses the floater. Froling with the offensive rebound, fading away. No foul call. Rebound instead for the Lynx. And Whitcomb saw the quick-moving Atwell at the other end. Lovely find from Sammy Whitcomb. Atwell takes her tally to 9. And a timeout is going to be called. Might be subs instead.
Back out to 18. That's the thing. You know, Sammy Whitcomb, great players do that. It's back to 14. You're right on the cusp of the momentum swing the other way. She just steps up, puts it on the floor, gets an easy bucket, finds a teammate on the break. Leadership and talent.
Willoughby for Froling, can't get it to drop. This hasn't been Keely's second half offensively. Still yet to add to her tally after her 21st half points. Scherf for Sharp, driving baseline. And that's a tough attempt with Willoughby right there as well. Alex Sharp, too good.
It's bumped Willoughby off, and I'm going to suggest that's not an easy task to do. Willoughby's got great athleticism. She's strong, she's robust. Alex Sharp didn't take a backward step.
Game high 20-point lead for the Lynx. Mangakar here, stuck against the baseline here. Lovely feed inside for Keely Froling. That's 10 assists for Tiana Mangakar here. At the other end, Sharp lost control, but there are ample Lynx players around to save the day. Halfway through this final quarter. I hope you're enjoying it on 9 now. Whitcomb for Bibby for 3. Can't get it to go. Clark is there for the defensive rebound.
Sydney pushing tempo now. Mangakar here from deep.
Trying to get Sammy Whitcomb territory. Didn't quite come off. Atwell for Scherf. Wide open for 3. They get away with one there. The Sydney Flames as Shervin brings down the defensive board.
Still a fair amount of time in this contest. Can Sydney chip it back?
Offensive foul called against Willoughby. Sharp rather draws the contact. That's second personal foul on Jocelyn Willoughby.
Good position. Alex Sharp anticipated. You know, Perth Lynx tend to force the action away from any sort of ball screen action, and then Sharp just anticipated, got her feet there. Excellent defensive play and stop for her team. See if they can push this margin back to 20.
Sharp was cutting towards the rack. Whitcomb finds Sharp now. It's a good look for 3. She's a lovely three-point shooter, and that is why. And going at 41% in the three-point territory. It's one of the best at the Lynx this season. They force a turnover at the other end. Whitcomb behind the back, party tricks. Ryan for Scherf drives it out, and then Perth Lynx are putting on a show in this third quarter now as Alex Sharp hits another.
Party time for the Perth Lynx, moving the ball, enjoying it now. We might see Coach Ryan Petrick, we can see it there, clearing the bench.
Mangakar here loses control, another turnover. It's falling apart for the Flames. Scherf goes inside. Atwell couldn't hit the 2, but they've got another offensive rebound. Not again for 3 on the trot. Alex Sharp couldn't get that one to go. Perth Lynx showing why they are a dominant offensive force when they're at their best.
Yeah, once they get rolling, they're impressive. They get confident and light it up from the three-point line. They can score inside, spit it back out.
Rebound there for Lauren Scherf, who now has her 5th double-double in this WNBL campaign.
See them, Coach Ryan Petrick, sit down his core players, rest them, not risk injury.
Lauren Scherf will stay out there though, and she will heading towards the charity stripe with the Flames in the bonus this quarter.
Again, she has 5 assists. She averages 5 assists for a 6'5" centre. It's pretty exceptional. She plays a lot at the top of the key. She picks and pops a lot. She plays up there, but she can feed the ball exceptionally well.
Only 26 years of age. She's got 100. This is game number 198 in the WNBL. She's part of this Opals extended squad. She's in the middle of a career best year, and you mentioned her size, how hard she is to guard, and her versatility. She's such an exciting prospect for the next couple of years.
We think she's got a good 8 years left. What's she going to be like in another year or two? You know, the bigs often you say they take a little longer to develop, but, you know, she's playing some of her best basketball. I think her best basketball is yet to come. But this is certainly career best form. Consistent. She's been consistent.
Tried to go for the pass inside there for Edwards. It didn't quite come off there at Lauren Scherf on that occasion. Willoughby. She went off that beautiful ball control. Clark kicks it out for Rowe and a good look for three. Lovely stroke from Kira Rowe, who excellent three-point shooter usually. Timeout is called. We have a look at Kira Rowe and that lovely stroke.
A nice little confidence boost for her. Regardless if your team's up or down, if you're a three-point shooter and that's what you're known for, you've got to be able to make them, whether, you know, that's generally when you get in, if you're up by 20 or down by 20.
This timeout is brought to you by Aussie Hoops, which has just had its biggest year to date. Over 42,000 participants registering to a local Aussie Hoops centre nearby. It is the perfect introduction to the world of basketball for kids aged 5 to 10 years of age. So whether your little one is a seasoned basketball fan or just simply looking to get out there and give the sport a go, they'll have an absolute ball of a time with Aussie Hoops. So register now at aussiehoops.basketball to kickstart your child's basketball journey. So the final couple of minutes of this game, 2.5 to play. It really has fallen apart for the Flames in their second half. As we mentioned, no Shane Hill, their head coach out there, no Shyla Hill, their marquee player as well. A good learning experience as well for Shelley Gorman, no doubt, in the head coaching role. And we're seeing why the Lynx are still right up there in top 4 contention. Yeah, look, they've put on a clinic in this second half, particularly that third quarter performance. I mean, having said that, the Sydney Flames couldn't buy a basket in that third quarter. I think that was a bit of both. Good defence. They got wide open shots, but I think this team, confidence boost win. This will be their 5th win on the trot. They've got some big games coming up. They've won. The bulk of their wins have come from the teams in the bottom 4. They've got to show in the coming weeks that they can beat those top 4 teams to push their way into that top 4. Bibby fading away and knocking it down. Chloe Bibby takes her tally to 12. You're right. So they've got a bit of a gruelling run. Their next 4 games after today, they all come in 11 days. They play Bendigo away, Melbourne away, then 2 home games against Townsville. So I think we'll really find out about the Perth Lynx in the next 4 games, Carrie. Yeah, absolutely. That'll be their deciding 4 games. I think they've got they've lost the split against Melbourne. The split's open against the other 3 top teams, and they could some of those splits could be done, or they'll keep them alive and keep it really interesting down the stretch of this season. In the meantime, they'll be enjoying this last 90 seconds as Chloe Bibby earns 2 free throws here, and the trip to the charity stripe, coming off the bench, and had a big impact for her side tonight. We see Perth with their entire bench. As you say, Chloe Bibby isn't a starter. She comes in, she's a huge impact off the bench, but she's in there with 4 other players off the bench. Coach Ryan Petrick, smartly so, sits down his core group, rests them, allows the bench players to get a chance to run around and have their turn as you would, but smart play to sit them down. You've clearly got this win. The margins in these games don't matter. They don't impact anything. Great chance to let the development players and the younger players play and to rest your star players and not risk injury. So it'll be Perth's 3rd win coming up against the Flames this season. They'll take the sweep 3-zip. In their first 2 games, they shot at 42% from the 3-point line, and then they shot at 40% from the 3-point line. Hasn't quite been at the same clip tonight. They've gone at 29% from the 3-point line, but overall from the field going at 50, and it hasn't been one standout player right through it. We've seen flashes of brilliance from Samuel Whitcomb, but as we see, Alex Sharp's got 17 points, 5 players in double figures. Amy Atwell's got 9. It's been a real team-orientated performance, Carrie, from the Lynx. Yeah, it has, and they've done a great job of putting the ball. Yes, they're a 3-point shooting team. We know that, and they do it exceptionally well, but they put the ball on the floor. They back cut, they basket cut, they rim roll. They've had a great mix of inside-outside play. Coming up towards the final minute of this game as Clark brings down the rebound. Willoughby thought about the three, drove hard inside instead and floats it in. Lovely finish from Jocelyn Willoughby. She takes her tally now to 18 points. It means she's gone 26, 16 and 18 in her 3 games against the Lynx. Jocelyn Willoughby, she's really dined out on the Lynx, but hasn't resulted in wins for her team in any of those games.
Willoughby did Burrows did a great job just then to get in the lane deep, couldn't find the shot. You see Emma Clark step up for her team, get a little cheap 2.
13-second differential between game clock and shot clock left as we have a look at Edwards underneath the basket. Defense there from Kira Rowe, showing missed shot there. Willoughby for Panousis. Clark again from the corner. Can't get that one to go. A foul called as Shervin and Bibby were contesting that rebound.
Referees want to let that one go with 14 seconds to go, but no, a foul is a foul, they've deemed. The big girls bump and grind on that block out possession.
Willoughby has a look, steps back. All oxygen on that attempt from Jocelyn Willoughby. Great to watch her right throughout this game, though. She's gone 8 of 20 from the field, but has the 18 points and shown off her terrific talent right throughout this game. Final seconds at this one. But this Perth Lynx team is one of the hottest in the WNBL. Foul is called, but that is the end of the game. And the Perth Lynx have won 5 games on the trot. An 87-68 victory over the Sydney Flames. They keep their top 4 hopes alive, and they are one team that you can't afford to underestimate, Carrie, in the back end of this WNBL season.
No, that you can't. They've got a lot of weapons, and we saw that tonight. They moved the ball well. They had people cutting on the rim. We know they're an exceptional 3-point shooting team. And for Sydney tonight, they just couldn't put the ball in the hole in that third quarter. I think that really hurt them. Third and fourth quarter, they got some decent looks, couldn't roll it. You look at the Perth Lynx, 48% from the field, and a lot of that, they're either got shots close to the rim, on basket cuts, on penetrations, on rim rolls, or they've got the 3-point shot. They didn't do a whole lot in the mid-range, but that gets them 48% from the field. They turned around the rebound count that was massive for Sydney in that first quarter, led by Keely Frolling's first half, 20 and 10. Both teams moved the ball pretty well, and I mean, there you see it for Perth Lynx. 46 points in the paint, story of the game.
5 players had double-figure points tonight for the Lynx. Sammy Wickham top scored. She only played the 25 minutes tonight, Sammy Wickham. She's normally one of the big minute getters in the WNBL, but my gosh, did she make an impact. 19 points in those 25 minutes. She threatened to really get hot, have one of those big 30-plus point Sammy Wickham games. She had some big 3-point attempts as well, Carrie, but also the 7 assists as well as she brought her teammates into the game.
Yeah, she did, and we saw that great one where she got the young Burrows involved on an and-one play and fed the ball, and was, that's her leadership. She's excited by engaging other people in her team. She's passionate, screaming at the referees, that might have been a foul on me, but I'll get on with it. She was big tonight.
Stick around, because Carrie and I are. We've got the Capitals and Southside coming up from the National Convention Centre, and then tomorrow to close out round 11, it'll be the Melbourne Boomers and Bendigo. Got a top 4 clash to close out round 11 of the Cygnett WNBL. Can't wait for that one. But from the Quaycentre in Sydney, it was a mightily impressive second half performance from the Perth Lynx, highlighted by a 23-6 third quarter. They get the victory over the Sydney Flames and claim their 5th win on the trot. On behalf of Carrie Graff and our entire hard-working team behind the scenes, this is Ben Waterworth signing off from Sydney, where the Lynx claim their 5th win on the trot with an 87-68 victory over the Flames. Don't go anywhere. It's the Caps up against the Flyers in just a few moments.